So it's the 15th of January and we are off on our first podding adventure of 2024. But just cut the music for a little bit because I am a little bit apprehensive about this one, and I'll tell you why. So I booked this campsite directly through their website, and as far as I'm aware it's a completely independent campsite, so it's not a CL, it's not part of any of the camping and caravan clubs. I also didn't book it through a website such as Hitching. It was independent through their own website, and I was going through their booking form and I started putting in what I required. I wanted a hard standing pitch, an electric hookup, I've got a small single axle caravan, and it's one person, one dog for 4 nights. So how much do you think that should be? Well, it came out at £40, and I was like, that's too cheap. To give you a bit of comparison, other campsites that I've booked around this time of year have been about £20–25, and for that I'm happy with. Some of them have been up to £35 per night, and then I've had extra surcharges for things such as taking Winston along. So at £10 a night, it just seemed far too cheap. So I phoned them, I rang them up, and I spoke to a lady on the phone and said, I think there's a problem with your booking calculator. So she went, okay, let's just go through what it is you require. Did the same thing, hard standing pitch, electric hookup, single axle caravan, 4 nights, 1 person, 1 dog. She said the same price, £40, £10 per night. And I was like, are you sure? I was like, does that include everything? I thought maybe it wouldn't include the electric. I thought maybe that gets you an electric pitch, but maybe the electricity is metered, so maybe I would have to pay extra for the electricity I used. But she said, no, that's everything. So yeah, I booked it. That is where we are going today. But I am quite apprehensive about it because you know when they say if something's too good to be true? So I'm like, what's the catch? What is the catch? Why is this campsite only £10 per night? I know it's January and I know it's out of season, but at this time of year, everyone uses more electricity because they're running their heating. So I don't understand how they can afford to run a profitable campsite at £10 per night. Also as well, this is a big campsite. So it's set in 400 acres of private land. I think it's 400 acres anyway, I'll check that. But 400 acres of private land. So Winston and I can go walking for miles and not really have to worry about anybody because they own the land. So, I don't know, it's got wonderful reviews. I checked all the Google reviews and everything before booking, but I still don't understand the £10 per night. I don't know, maybe I should just be thankful that it's so cheap and shut up about it and just enjoy the trip. But I am apprehensive because when they say if it's too good to be true, it usually is. But anyway, we'll go and see and we'll let you know. So time to pack the caravan. I put all of my clothes and bed pillows underneath the seat, and then I cover all of the cushions in what feel like 1,000,001 blankets because of my dog. I then put all the heavier stuff in the back of the van. Okay, so the van is packed and the caravan is packed and I've just had a light lunch, so we're ready to go. Just got to hitch up, and I think it's going to be about a 3-hour drive. Google says 2.5 hours, but obviously it takes a little bit longer in the caravan, so I'm guessing 3 hours. It's almost 12 o'clock now, so we'll get there about 3 o'clock. By the time we've pitched and sorted everything out, probably be more like 4 o'clock. And then that'll be the end of the day almost. So as much as I love adventures, I find these first days exhausting because you're trying to make sure that you've remembered everything. You're trying to make sure you've packed everything correctly, you've not put too much in the caravan, you've still got enough weight in the van. You're then driving to a place you've never been before, so you're making sure the route is suitable for the caravan. And then you get to the campsite and obviously you've not been there before, so you need to try and find out where everything is. So yeah, I just find these days exhausting. I love the adventures, but I'm not a fan of these days. But anyway, let's get hitched up, let's get there, let's get it done, and then we can crack on and explore. since it was a beautiful sunny day, here I am wearing my shades in January, feeling super cool. So we were headed to mid-Wales, and I had a terrible drive. I thought that I checked my Google route so that I would be mainly on the main roads, but for some reason I ended up being mostly on these country lanes. Now the problem with these country roads isn't the width of them or even the bends. The problem that I have is the road surface. So the amount of potholes and just how uneven the surface is. It really bounces my caravan all over the place, which means I've got to drive quite slow. Now, after holding up several people on our route, we finally made it to Fforest Fields Campsite. Now of course we are in January, so when we arrived the place was pretty empty. We went to the reception, but there was nobody there. Instead there was just a note telling you to sign in and to pick a pitch. So after a short drive around the campsite, we picked pitch number 43, which looked as though it had just been re-gravelled. Now as I was motor moving my pod into position, I noticed that the motor move on the right side of the caravan was making a very funny noise. Now I couldn't see anything wrong with it, and as you can see it's working fine, so I'm hoping that it's just from the dirt that was kicked up from the road. My caravan was clean when I left home. Now it's filthy. I don't like it. I have to tell myself that we got her to use her, didn't we, Winston? Yeah? Got the caravan to use it, and that means it getting dirty. But that's okay. We can clean it when we get back again, can't we? Yeah? We then went back to the reception to note down our pitch number. We went and got some water and had a general mooch around the campsite to get the lay of the land and to just see where everything is. Now I had some work that had to be done that day, so I then had to quickly whip out the laptop and crack on with the day job. When it's -2 outside, but your little doggy's all wrapped up in his blanket. And that was the end of a very tiring travel day. So I have lost my headphones and also my snood that goes around my neck and keeps my neck warm. And I don't know how I've managed to lose them, because it's not exactly as though I've got a lot of space to lose them in. They've got to be in the van or in the pod somewhere because I had them yesterday. But I've checked every compartment and I cannot find them. Don't drop it. Come on. Are these all little apples? Why are they so little? If anybody can tell me, is it just a certain type of mini apple that I'm not familiar with? Or does the tree need to mature a bit more? I mean, I don't know, they look pretty mature to me. I don't know anything about this. If anybody could tell me why we've got mini apples, be interesting. Come on, Winston, let's go. So I get all my walking routes from an app called All Trails, and on this campsite, if you search for this campsite on the app, you'll see that it actually has its own walking trail, but it's completely private, so it's only for campers only, because this trail is all on their land. So we're giving it a go. So far it's lovely. We're kind of doing like a little bit of a woodland walk, and I think we head up there, but we shall see. But so far I'm really enjoying it. Gate to woodland walk, that's where we're going. But you can also go gate to pub. I didn't know there was a pub around here. I'm going to check that out online, see if they serve some food, because it would be nice one day to have a walk and then a stopover in the pub for a nice hot meal. So here is the campsite. So I believe that there's caravan storage. They use this big field in summer as well, I think, but for winter I think they're just keeping everything to this bit. So that there is the facilities block, and then my pod is, we'll try not to blur it, there. Do you see? There. Just in front of the lake. It's our little pod. So we walked from there, so from the pod through here, down through all these woods, and we kind of zigzagged a little bit, came up here, and now we're going to follow this down there. And I think you go down, you come around here somewhere, you do a loop around that lake, and then go back. That's the route, isn't it, Wins? Should we get going? Come on then, let's go. So I've just made that video, and there appears to be an observation point there. Let's go have a look at that. Ooh, nice little bench, sheltered from the wind. Ooh, this is lovely. You just sit and take it all in. Hey, Winston. So we found this little sign to hill walks up there. I checked my map and there's loads of routes up there, so we're going to go up there tomorrow for a longer walk, but for now we're going down here. Come on, we'll go up there tomorrow. There's a dog sniffing around our pitch. I think he notices somebody's on his farm. Winston's not realised yet. But he's sniffing where Winston was peeing this morning. So he's probably wondering who this intruder was. There we go. He's noticed him. Oh, I think he's scared of him. Curious, but scared. Now, one thing I enjoyed about this campsite was that I never had to put Winston on a lead, and there was lots of other dogs there as well that were also off lead with their owners. and it was nice just to allow our dogs to be dogs. Now I'm guessing that in summer, when the campsite is really busy, then this wouldn't be allowed. But in January, when the campsite was almost empty, it was great to be able to give Winston that extra freedom. Go on, you gotta get out. I'm cleaning. Out. Go on, I'm cleaning. And there's your piggy. You gotta stay out there. Good boy. Winston is laying in a very convenient space, even though that's his bed, but he chooses to lay in between my feet. I don't know why that is comfier than that there. So we're back in the pod now. I'm just making lunch. So for starters, I have got some garlic mussels, and then for mains, I have got some smoked mackerel, which I'm going to do with some whole grain rice and some veggies. So yeah, my little tiny pod space is going to smell very fishy, but should taste nice anyway. Now, because our walk that morning was only about 3.5 miles, we decided to go out on an evening walk before it got dark, and we did a small circular loop in the other direction for about 1.5 miles. So it's all frozen on top, but you can see it flowing underneath. It's quite cool. I'm coming, Winston. And then when we got back to the pod, I made you guys a YouTube video. So let me show you around Fforest Fields Campsite. So what you're looking at is the reception, which also doubles up as an honesty shop, and I've been told that in the summer it stocks local meat, honey and bread. The site has over 100 pitches, and this here is the facilities block. Now over in the corner is a pizza shop, a coffee shop and a licensed bar, along with the usual facilities of laundry, washing up, fridges and drying room. Now I've been told that this site gets very busy in the summer. It's very family friendly, lots of kids enjoy being here, especially playing in the lake where they can paddleboard, swim and kayak. But now let's take a look inside the ladies' bathrooms. So as you can see, they're lovely and clean, they were also nice and warm, and the water was nice and hot. Couldn't really expect anything more for £10 per night. And so far I haven't really found anything wrong with the campsite or any reason why it would be only £10 a night, except from the fact that it is January and maybe that's why the cost is so low. So what I'm going to do is I'm on their website now and I'm going to book a pitch, or I'm going to see what the price of a pitch would be if I booked for the same 4 nights in August, which would be peak season. Okay, so on the campsite, the beginning of August, for 4 nights, 1 person, 1 electric hookup, 1 dog, whole thing comes to £70. So for 4 nights, that averages about £17.50 per night with an electric hookup. That is still super cheap, especially given the fact that this is peak season that I was booking for. So yeah, little gem in Wales. Coming up in part 2, Winston and I head out on a 5-mile hike where I try to break through some frozen ice and we see a low-flying plane. I also test out my new internet booster, and Winston hurts his leg. Now that's all to come, so please make sure you're subscribed, and we'll catch you guys on the next video.